raise my glass up high and say cheers to all the lovers, all of those that put it on the line every day in whatever ways that you can to give back to those. You know what I'm saying? Love. I say it's intoxicating. Every day's another day in the hood, the suburb, anywhere that you are. Another opportunity to do the most good. But will you do it? Will you do it? Fictitious things got me on the beat, making me wanna sing to things that don't really matter. Am I from another galaxy? Every 50,000 years I'm here. Oh, I'm addicted to you. Love them more than they hate themselves. I paint the picture, and actions are louder than words. Let's go up in this piece. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite icon up in the building, and we are here. We are the City Network in full effect. You already know what time it is. We're here for the final installment of Culture, Refinement, Understanding Your InnerG, back to the basics, and just having that open, honest, casual conversation about certain things that's going on within the mind, the mentality, what instructs that mind, what stimulates that mind, what guides that mind, to think the things that it thinks, to move into action and do the things that it do. The self community being the individual, and that's the premise on where we start our journey dealing with the self. I want to give a shout out to all of the networking affiliates and partners with We Are the City Network, Circle of the Gods Point 6. Shout out to that. Brother J. Paul and After the Break. We have Black Roots Media and Entertainment with Queen Black Radio. We also have Empress Oris, Goddess Supreme, Soft Life University, Soft Life Era, Talk That Shit podcast, and we also have Miss Chaz Cake, which is most certainly a part of the network and affiliation. And shout out to her and Hear Me Out Poetry that she's a part of as well. And many, 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 many more others, you know what I'm saying, especially those within my family, because we do share each other's content. Some of my family members have bigger platforms than I do, so but they do see and recognize that Big Cuz ain't afraid, and Unc ain't afraid to make sure that I'm using my platforms to let people know of their brilliance, their content and what they're offering to society, to our communities, and to just people that can be of benefit. So shout out to my family. Standing on business, man. So it's a beautiful thing. We've been dealing with this subject matter. 3 installments already in. This is going to be the final one because I am most certainly at the end of what I have in my reading. And normally I would just recap a few things, but I'm not going to do that today. I want y'all to go back and make sure you get part 1, 2, and 3, and you can hear the conversation. Like I said, it's an open, honest conversation. We didn't have to go get no references, pretty much. Just us talking to us, me coming through these airways and you listening and coming back with comments if you have some. I encourage people, if you come into these spaces, We Are the City Network, Circle of the Gods Point, say, please come and subscribe. It's free. And make sure, like, if you have an opinion, if you want to share your perceptions on the subject matter, please feel free to do so respectfully. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to have a bunch of clutter and negativity in the comment sections, but we do want people to be able to speak their minds respectfully, you know what I'm saying, so that we can receive open and honest conversation as well. Because again, I will put a disclaimer out there. I come through and I do these things that I do. I'm bringing my experiences, so these are facts in my life. Whether people know it and or understand it. But in the same token, I'm always open to receive because improvement, there's always room for improvement, as they had said. So with that being said, you know what I'm talking about? I'm going first of all, see can I get to my YouTube page from here and make sure that everything is on point on that side. Let me turn this down. Turn it down. You see that thing will come in. It'll come in doing it. We don't want it to come in doing it. You know what I'm saying? So, and how's everybody though this morning? Shout out to all the people that will hear this live or hear this on the replay. Or you go back and get the recording of this here. I hope that you all had a beautiful weekend, beautiful Monday coming into this Tuesday. I know it's been extremely hot here in Jacksonville, Florida, where it's my second home away from home. Shout out to Jacksonville, Florida. And my hometown, the 77 Deuce, Fort Pills, can never forget about Lewis County. Never do that. And all the surrounding counties in Florida and abroad, West Coast, Midwest, up north, down south, and our international family, networking partners and affiliates as well. So, with that being said, didn't I just change this account? I'm going here. Yeah. I'm going to my second account here on YouTube so I can make sure everything is in order here. And growing, people, while I'm looking for this here, what are we doing to grow? What are we doing to grow? If you've been around for the first three conversations dealing with culture, refinement, understanding your InnerG, I mean, have you picked up on anything? Have you learned anything? Or did I add on to anything? Did you get a chance to take a second look at something you already knew? You know what I'm saying? Just please put it in the comment section. Let me know, you know what I'm saying, if you've been rocking and rolling with your brother. Okay. I think we right here. Yes, 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 yes. Make sure we got volume. Mic check. Yeah, yes, mic. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, we got volume over there. Volume. Yeah, mic check. That's what I'm talking about right there. So, with that being said, I can see for a moment what I want to see over here as I am getting into this here. So we all clear and ready to go over on YouTube. So let's get right into this here. Coaching and refinement. The whole conversation was prompted by some certain things that was going on in my life, as far as me doing some reflection, some introspection, and looking at myself community, my thought process, and the things that I'm doing from those thought processes in terms of negative and positive for my life, the direction of my life, how that is affecting me, how it affects people around me, and how am I diagnosing this situation? And I can honestly say that there I have found illness still. This is a work in progress, trying to go through the refinement process. You know, and that's going from one state to another state to smooth things out. So culture, as we've been hearing more and more and more, through proper understanding, as far as I'm concerned, we have not had the best ideal, the best definition of culture. We've been putting things in place of culture, based off food, dance, clothing, and things of that nature, like our survival mode and the things we had our ancestors, our people had to do to survive and try to thrive in atmospheres and environments upon the circumstances that wasn't conducive to their growth and development and the benefit of them being owners and rulers of their own lives. So we've really been out here functioning and trying to take whatever we can. I'm speaking specifically to the so-called African American Negro, nigga, as some would say. We use them words, we do. We have all these different titles that we call ourselves. Okay, I'm just being honest, and y'all know this. I'm not lying. We participate in this every day. But up under those circumstances, we don't took some of the poorest diets, and we made it a delicacy. Um, the ancestors during slavery and stuff that gave us our identity on food. And don't get it twisted. The seasoning game is phenomenal. It's one of the words that we use inside of the conversation. It is very let me find that word because I want to make sure I say that word right. And it had elegance. They create some elegant dishes, you know what I'm saying? And now people are really getting into more and more outside of the race, on soul food. People know good soul food. We are thankful for these byproducts that come out of a culture, but that is not the culture. We wanted to focus a little bit more on those things that give you real power, real identity. And that's the language that we speak and how we use it to identify ourselves. What that means in terms of how the verbiage to describe what we are is taken seriously. You know what I'm saying? That we are saying to the world that we're not asking for respect, we demanded it because we have respect for self, we have respect for kind. Okay, and we want to respect every other person's and groups of people the way that they respect themselves and want to be seen. We're no different. And the truth of the matter is, it's been a lot of Johnny come latelys that's been getting placed in positions to have power. And if we say all praises be to the Most High, all things have to have its place and do what it has to do. But the children of the original people, we're not even gonna mince words about this here. We know that the indigenous people are the original. Every other thing after that there is a copy, but still a part of that cycle of what we can call the family. It's the ideals, the vision that has been pressed on the mind that has taken us so far away from those particular things that we once had, you know, and that's the ability to be in sync with nature and the laws that govern nature, knowing the do's, the don'ts, the pros and cons of life. Because at the end of the day, it is about self-perseverance and the perseverance of a people, a group, humanity, and this all species of life. But because we're in a system that is so broken, a system that is designed to cripple and fractionalize its human population and decimate every other thing around it, a mentality does that, you know. And I'm not gonna get into too deep into that because I'm not on that racism type stuff. Like, I'm gonna speak the truth, you know. I'm not doing it because I want to single people out. I'm doing it because I want to single out the facts. If you're guilty, stand up and be judged by your actions. I have to do it. We all have to do it. And if you don't want to do it, it don't matter because the truth is going to do what it's going to do anyway. And we're going to get a response from the truth when we go against it. All right. And it's just a matter of time. Some people think they can do things negatively, indiscriminately, and think they're getting away with it. But you're not. You're not getting away with anything. Let's let that be clear. And the truth don't care nothing about your money or the lack of. It don't care nothing about where you live. You know what I'm saying? It don't care nothing about your profession, career. It don't care about how much you don't save, how many bitcoins you got. It don't care nothing about your technology. The truth is what it is, and we have to use that there to manipulate certain things within nature and the laws to kind of fit things that we want to do. So culture in this particular instance for us has been what things do we consider or act upon in our thought processes that says to the world through our actions based off our thought process, our actions that we respect ourselves. We respect our women, we respect our children, we respect our men, and we respect the communities that we build, the societies that we live in. And right now, I'm telling you, we live in some trash being passed off as something good. There seems to be no culture, no refinement, no widespread, you know, um, coming together, rising in mentality to do the most good that we can eradicate poverty, we can eradicate domestic violence, we can eradicate a lot of different things that harm us. even the things that we do to harm ourselves. Because once we stop doing those things, anything outside of us that will come with that foolishness, we gonna stand collectively like everybody else. But because the enemy has fractionalized the mind, we've been domesticated and made to be savage, made to be something other than a cultured and refined person, dumbed down, and you can see it in the actions of the people. And sometimes when we lash out, I know we're thinking, well, we've been down so long, so I'm going against the system. But you got to do it in a way that will bring, again, a form of security. I know in wars there's casualties, and some of us gonna have to stand on them front lines sometimes. But I'm just saying we need to be in a focused place when we're dealing with the enemies of us, when we're dealing with those that don't like us, because deep down inside, it ain't just the color of who we are, it's the threat of the actual coding within our genetics, and the connection to the source that causes us to elevate in ways that a lot of people phantom that and wish that they could do and attempt to do. And some make great progress by studying the masters. So whether you know you're a master or not, our job, once we become enlightened, and have become enlightened to the degree that I am, and I'm willing to give back. I'm willing to have these conversations. I'm willing to tell you that you've always been somebody, but there was another somebody that wanted you to think that you was a nobody. Thus, we had the song, I'm just a nobody, trying to be somebody. You was already somebody. You just was lured, put to sleep, and when you wake up, not even wake up, scrap that word. When you rise up, when you resurrect, when the intervention has come down because there has been so much conflict with truth, and because of those conflicts with truth, there's pain that come with that, and those seem to be the thing that rise us back up in our mentality. Okay, bringing us from a dead state into a state of awareness that I'm feeling something. And when you get to the point that I don't want to feel this no more, and you really don't want to feel it, change will start to come. You'll start trying to get around information that will open your eyes more, open up your thought process more for change. And you won't take what this world system, through the minds of those who rule it, you won't take that and utilize it to lead and guide your life. You will work within that structure, but you won't gravitate to every single thing that has been put out there. And as you can see, especially for the so-called African American, when the people have the ability through their systems to change and whitewash history and just take the history and just get rid of it so that they don't have an ugly stain on them. And then when a specific people want to have the power, you understand me? Like other groups, because I say again, I will always say, can you imagine people coming, those same peoples in these places coming in and telling Jewish people they can't remember the Holocaust, they can't remember those things that happened to them, or telling the people in other places in our world who has been relegated to just lowly people. Can you imagine that, the pain that they went through? Can you imagine telling the Haitian people that, you know, who people independence was won by Toussaint Louverture? Can you imagine them telling people, somebody telling them don't remember the people that came against them to crush their women, children, and men, take their land? Can you imagine telling people that don't been through something? The indigenous people that they call the Indians, which us, that we just gonna wash away all the bad that has been done to y'all and the culprits that did it, because they good at hiding and shape shifting. Not just positive people can shape shift into certain things. The negative ones that got the wisdom and the understanding and the information, they know how to do it too, and they do it more frequently than anybody else. And I'm talking about those in power, be they Europeans, be they the Jewish Europeans, or those who act Jewish, or the Jewish, meaning those that act like the original, as they call them, Hebrews, or indigenous people without title, because that's what the construct is all about. Okay, so I'm finna get on into this here. I just want to kind of set that premise, man, to say that in this conversation, it wasn't just a blind conversation or just I just want to have this conversation. No, it's intentional, purposeful. What I'm bringing to the table, and it's plain talk. You ain't gotta go do sit down and do a whole lot other than go to your search engine and start getting into the things that you think and start going in and researching your thoughts. Excuse me. Go in and do research on your own thoughts. Go in and do research on the things that influence you and influence me. We need to go and check these things out. Okay, if they telling me this, or if this is being marketed to me, why should I, entertain it? Why should I accept it? Why should I participate in it? Why? What is it? If we start learning more about the what is it part, and trust me, I'm in it too. I need to know a lot more. The few things that I do know do separate me from a vast majority of our people, but in no way take me up out of the struggle because I'm still in it with you, baby. I'm still in it. So I believe in the process of coaching and refinement in a way that when I talk to people, they know it's respect. I'm gonna bring the respect until I'm violated. You violate me, then I don't owe you anything but a speedy separation before chaos comes. And that's what culture and refinement do for you. It gives you the mentality to know how to back up, calculate, make discernments, and put plans together to safeguard what your life. Okay, we have to learn how to value that. So your dress code, the way you talk, all of these is a representation of your mind. Real talk. It ain't just somebody trying to come and tell you how to dress. What we're saying is your dress code speaks a language without you opening your mouth. Because other people are looking and perceiving, and their perceptions of you probably not gonna be right. But the perception that you given that they're receiving in their mind and in context that they're gonna see is absolutely right. So when that predatory mentality come around, it takes advantage of that, and sometimes ruthlessly. So we must educate, we must cultivate and get refinement for our women and our little girls. And in this world of that we live in, because it's vastly known more so now, we got to protect our little boys and our men too. Because the predator, when it comes out, the system don't been set up now to where it's no limits. The same thing that the predator would do to a woman, they'll do to a man and a little boy. These are facts. Culture and refinement makes you understand military understandings. Because we gotta have one of those. We gotta have protection. You can't be sitting back scared all your life. And even if you is scared, you gotta find a way to overcome. Trust me, I get afraid. Sometimes I'm just things I talk about sometimes. I just know right now they know I'm not on the biggest platforms, but they know I'm out here. But I'm still coming. Like some people say, what would Jesus do? He would have kept on coming. Yeah, he was in and out, moving how he had to move and stuff like that there, but he kept on coming. He kept on helping. He kept on saving. He kept on speaking a good word. When I say Jesus or the Messiah or the Christ, I'm talking about people who have had their intervention, who have been linked to the Creator in a way that it gives them supernatural range because the laws that govern that, if it's from the Creator and in line with the Creator's plan, then you have supernatural powers and abilities, man. So that's what we want to do. And we most certainly have to make sure our women have more of it because they are the cultivators of the seed. They spend the most time with the children. Whatever is in her mind, she's going to input into that child. And only by intervention, if the child is getting the wrong information, if the man ain't around to set up the parameters so that she can do her job, then it's going to be a failure. That's why culture and refinement, understanding your InnerG is the conversation, and it should be the conversation over all platforms and major platforms. And I feel like Tupac, you better start listening to these people that's jumping on these sites and listen to what they're really talking about. You know, If they own some entertainment stuff and you know some buffoonery, you make them stand on business and say this is purely entertainment, nothing factual. Make them say it or don't participate in it. And trust, I like good entertainment. I'm into music, I'm into poetry, I'm into all of that stuff. You know, I've been around tasteful, I've been around tasteless. I participated in tasteless, but I'm also crafting and learning how to make it more positive, appealing to the intellect, the higher intellect of our people. So we 25 minutes inside of this. So I'm gonna make sure I get this within at least an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. And here we go with the last parts of culture, refinement, understanding your energy. Okay, we left off. We did acute. Um, I touched it real briefly. Um, but the word acute, point number one, sharp, in effect, intense. Point number two, severe, critical. Point number three, brief and severe, acute. Point number four, sharpening intellect, insight, and perception. Point number five, knowing how to apply practically to one's advantage what one perceives and understand. And this particular reading is very, very key. I want you to really dial in to what is being said. And to those who are just coming for the first time, these are some, I'm putting out my archives, some of the information that I started to feed on when my intervention came. And that whole process, I'm running down how it happened. I'm running down what happened before I was administered uh, into federal prison with a 34-year sentence and doing 28 years, 1 month, and 2 weeks of that time. Getting out in 2019. Went in at 19, came out at 47, and by the grace of the Most High, I'm still here in this flesh at 54, right? And so that acuteness, I want you to lock in on it. Listen, sharp in effect, sharp. When something is acute, it's not wide range, it's pinpoint. It's like a focus. When you got a sharp focus and you start seeing those, I don't know what they call those numbers, like in the Matrix, when those numbers start coming, binary codes or whatever, and you can start seeing and you understanding the math, and it's on point, your vision on point, your smell on point, your senses are on point and understanding what it must do with that information to make sure that you're okay. So, we talking about sharp. When you say something is sharp, like make a sharp turn, mean you're not gonna take your time and wind it. You need to hurry up and hit that. If it's going left, make it sharp. Turn that wheel all the way to the left or turn it all the way to the right. That's a sharp turn, you know, acute, sharp, pinpoint, no room for error, pretty much. And it's intense. When you're doing something from that position, it's gonna be intense. Because when you don't have room for errors and mistakes at critical times, you can't afford to mess it up. It could cost you your life. And in many cases, it's costing us our life because we don't have that aspect of the culture and refinement because we keep making it about food, dancing, and all this other stuff, which is beautiful byproducts of a people. But we don't have an identity. We don't have a unified identity on how we want people to treat us like other people, even though they just as messed up. But the system gives way for these types of separations within the people to keep the confusion going. And I just refuse to be one of those from a so-called group, as they don't group us out here, which is a part of the problem because we all thinking we different. But I gotta stand on business. I got children, I got grandchildren too. I got family and friends that look just like me. And my assignment was to come speak the truth to us and to anybody that's against us or rolling with us because they see the foolishness. So this ain't about safekeeping. You don't get no automatic end cause your skin color is this. We ain't interested in that. Culture and refinement give you something way above that thought process. It ain't your color, it ain't the color of your skin, it's the color of your mind, right? Is that mind sharp enough to see things and apply what it is processing and experiencing in a good way if it was bad? Do you know how to turn it? Do you know how to take it and make it do something that could be beneficial instead of harmful? Then you got severe, critical. When something is severe and critical, I mean, what it is saying is this is of the utmost importance. This is severe. It's not some little, it's not some little light wound. It's not a scratch. Joker just got hit with a scalpel, right? And you know, if you understand what a scalpel will open you up, that can be severe. I can scratch myself across my arm. It got a little pain to it, but if I did that with a scalpel, man, that could be catastrophic because it's gonna cut through the skin, damn it. Well, no, not damn it to the bone. It's taking arteries and all kinds of stuff. So we gotta be that focused when it comes to our life, the respect we know we deserve. And we gotta be man and woman enough to stand in that mirror again at crucial times and stop blaming other people and start getting into why did I do that? What did I do to maybe initiate? Because sometimes we do. And we so quick to blame the other person or blame the other people or blame without doing self-check, self-inspection. Culture and refinement gives us the ability to do that. So when we make a move or we make a decision or make a choice, you best believe, buddy, it's mathematically to the best of our discernment on point. So if I bombed on you, trust me, I didn't rush to do it. I took my time to understand. They'll call it premeditated, whatever. If you were against me and you trying to take my life, I got a right to preserve it. Whether it be law enforcement or just another person in the hood that feel like they're in survival mode or they just bullies on that deal, they just whatever it is. You have the right to just take people out because you don't like something about them. That's a bunch of foolishness. So we got to be intense. This is severe. They words and they systems is like a scaffold. It's not a scratch. Some people they let them get a little scratch across there. They putting a scaffold at your artery points, man. That's what they doing. I hear, especially to the poor and the rejected and the despised. And again, it ain't got nothing to do with color. That's what they keep us caught up in. It ain't got nothing to do with your nationality. That's what they keep us caught up in. It ain't got nothing to do with your religion because at the end of the day, they controlling all of that. But what they can't control is the creator. They can't control the most high. They can only try to manipulate certain things that they couldn't create, trying to replicate. So to those who have eyes, let them see. And those who have ears, let them hear. There are so many things that through this system they don't try to get us to do and have won over us on so many different ways that take us so far out of nature, man. We just doing so much diabolical stuff. And we out here helpless and separated and being demolished. Every time I come into social media, and trust me, I worry about my nieces and nephews, my great nieces and nephews, because I see there are tyrants, very malicious, dangerous people because they ignorant to a certain extent, but they not as ignorant as we would think. They very calculated as well. But one thing I learned, they want to live. Yeah, they want to live. And at the same time be able to do what they want to do without any retaliation. If you wrong and you out of order, whatever avenue to check that, we need to learn it. We need to understand it. And if it means losing the life, and trust me, that's a scary thought too. But no one should have the right to just dog people, dog the land, dog the ocean, trying to get all out of space that's causing damage. But they've been getting away with it. But it's time to pay the damn piper. I do believe that the Most High is putting a thrashing down, and the more they buck, just like quote unquote, when the Pharaoh heart hardened in that story, if you remember the story, they heart just keep hardening because people is really coming out, and their people are coming out. Those that really, some of them that push the agenda, they understand it. I better try to get me some mercy here, some grace. And they out on these damn people that want to take food, make the food out of garbage or not real. They mass killing because they say it's too many people on the planet. And this what we need to focus. When somebody can say it's too many people on the planet, we must exterminate people. Don't take that lightly because it's happening every day. You know, and anybody can be touched, man. I'm not I don't own the airwaves. They can put poison in the air, poison in the water, and we know they will do it because they done it. History will prove that. And they didn't care nothing about the color. They only used that scheme to keep the leverage of power that they have. Because they know they got a bunch of the vast majority of the human population is so dumbed down, so confused. We can't agree on nothing. But some group collections have a little bit more oomph to themselves. And I know that the so-called American Negro, the African American, by the names that they call us, man, we have it, but we don't have it. And I know you know what I mean. We have it, but we don't have it. We speak of power and then we deny it at the same time. But to the ones that starting to see, they starting to stand up. They starting to rise up. They starting to say, hey, I know my rights out here. You can't just come do this because if you do this to me, you got to do it to everybody else. Yeah, we here to expose the system for what it is. And we here to put a mirror in the face of every man and woman and young person that's old enough to understand certain things that's going on around them. You know, suffer ye not the little children, the babies that can't comprehend at the ages that they might be. But to the ones that conscious enough to know to the extent that you don't been told a few times too through your experience, or you don't learn through your experience when you don't done something wrong. Yeah, you're gonna be held accountable. So we need some culture and refinement. Brief and severe, crucial, acute, sharpening intelligence and intellect. He's smart in what? He's brilliant in what? She's highly intelligent in what? That's a question for me. What are you intelligent in? Where does your intelligence take you? And what does that intelligence suggest to you that moves you into action? I got to look at what that is. If you come around all the time and every time you come around, you can find something in peace, and then before you leave, it's in chaos. Every time you come somewhere, yeah, that's a problem. You are the problem. Everybody else at peace, and here you come and you just go disturbing stuff. For what reason did you do that? Was you trying to help? Was you trying to inform? Was you trying to warn against something diabolical, non-beneficial to the people? Or was you setting them up to do the very thing that's going to cause those things that I just said? In most cases, you're here to cause those things that I just said. So much harm. Never doing nothing that will benefit somebody else. It's always a scheme going on. That's the system in the world that you live in. So yes, we need culture and refinement, not just how much blue crabs and fried blue crabs and shrimps and food. Because a lot of the time, again, they using food to knock us down. We don't grow our own stuff, most of us. And to the ones that do, hallelujah. But then again, to a system that want to tell you what kind of seeds you can have, you can only get your seeds from us. And I can do this because I got money. And those of us that support our politicians and different people that's supposed to be on our side, with all that money, these people get won over a lot of the times. Because at the end of the day, they already know I'm just a servant of the system, man. I'm a servant of this corporate structure that we live in. I'm coming in. I had a heart that wanted to fight for freedom, justice, and equality, but I can't really use it. They'll hurt me and my family. So people start making decisions that they can hurt 85%. I'm gonna just be subjected to this 10%. And wherever the 5% pro righteous teachers are at, Those that put it on the line to try to help that 85 come up out of that madness and darkness, they get pinpointed as and scapegoated as the troublemakers. But they ain't taking nothing from you. They ain't abusing you. They only trying to walk in peace because they don't been through some things that got them to that level to where, man, I'd rather respect you than hurt you. I'd rather, try to do what all that I can to love you more than you hate yourself. Cause I didn't know how to love myself one time. You know what I'm saying? And somebody loved me more than I hated myself. And when the intervention came, I began to understand what that was. Oh, this is a deeper conversation, and we're gonna have these conversations. This is the circle of the gods. I need for y'all to um I need for y'all to really just take your time. Don't let this conversation be taken for granted. And if you don't heard, and if you already heard this before, hear it again. The same way you listen to everything they tell you over and over again. Look, every year you hearing everything about Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, and all this over and over and over again, and you listen. And we pay attention and we follow instructions. Some without even the financial abilities to do it, but do it anyway. Why? Because I don't want my children to be sad or picked on and all this here, but you can't afford it. And trust, I'm saying that from a person that didn't have that type of responsibility. I wasn't a saver, you know. I didn't know how to properly invest, heard but didn't do it. So I understand. And that's a hurtful place to be. Especially when you have the ability to do something so that would happen. Even in a system, though I can't take the money with me, that don't mean that I can't use that medium of exchange to activate this system because that's what it is until I get my own. And if I never get my own, I still have to have culture and refinement, how I want to be identified. I want to be identified with nature and the laws that govern nature because that's the creator's handiwork. I'm a natural person to this earth. The only rules and laws that should apply to me is the ones that if I violate hurting life. And anybody that does that, there should be held accountable, you know. And our next word, and we getting on around here to the back end of it, y'all, discretion. These are all some of the points within culture and refinement. Understanding your energy. This is how you do it. Discretion, to perceive by the sight or some other sense, or excuse me, by the intellect, see, recognize, or apprehend clearly. Point number two, to distinguish mentally, recognize as distinct or different, discriminate. Mm. Woo. Man, I got time. I got time. I got to get into this here. To perceive by sight. What is sight? To see? Sight. Sight also to understand. God, I can see it. Not even with my physical eyes, I'm thinking on it. My mental and spiritual, the real reality. I got spiritual sight, mental sight, my physical eyes being led by my mental and spiritual sight. If I have culture and refinement in my life, if I'm going through this process, if I'm understanding, if I'm in line with truth, understanding nature and the laws that govern nature, how I can understand to use it for my benefit and the benefit of me and my family and the society at large. Yes, I'm perceiving with the sight or some other sense. I feel things. I participate. My senses, my five and six sense, they get stimulated by certain things. You know, I need to understand sight, understand with all that I'm getting, get understanding. You need sight, not the blind leading the blind because they all falling in a ditch. A uncultured person, a unrefined person that don't have none of the things that I've read in the last three installments, and now the fourth and last. If they not operating off of this here, you dealing with a savage, you dealing with a tyrant, you dealing with a serpent, an evil serpent at that. But don't be afraid. inside of that poison, there is a medicine. Yes, it is a medicine. You can take a poison to cure poison. Yes, we've understood these things for quite some time now. So we got to look into the poison of what we've been fed, what we've been domesticated on. And if this your first time even hearing this type of conversation, know that you are blessed. It was time for you to hear it. Just like when it came to me, it was time for me to hear it. And I'm so thankful to the creator that I was able to listen. And I had no other choice really because I was at a low point in my life when intervention came for me. It was right for me. And I'm one of the brothers that I received because there's a lot of brothers around me that didn't. They did something different. I'm not saying that their different didn't work for them. I'm just saying my different worked for me to the extent that it did. And whatever I didn't do to maintain that deal, I can't blame nobody for those things. If I backslid, if I gave up on some of my disciplines after coming into knowledge, then shame on me. I can't put that on nobody else though, because can't nobody else control me unless I allow them. And if I allow them, then that's my fault. See, culture and refinement will give you that type of understanding, that type of perception. To perceive by sight or some other sense or by the intellect. You got a mind, use it. You use it to do wrong. I use my mind to do a lot of wrong. And I sat there and I thought about it for hours sometimes. How I'm gonna get this thing done. And it wouldn't always know get a job. No, I'm gonna go on these streets. I'm gonna pull this pistol out. I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. I'm in survival mode. I'm thinking I'm in survival mode. No, you allowing yourself to be there, but you don't even know that you have an intelligence to learn the system to make it work for you. And if we're not getting that at a very young age, we live our lives being very destructive. And then once you get deep in that hole, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, you're making so many egregious errors and just keep piling things on top of yourself until one day you just collapse from the weight of many negative choices and decisions. And that's what I did. So I'm trying to right my wrongs, especially in these latter days of my life. From the time I was 22 and started this process, it's been a beautiful journey. It's been a hard journey filled with a lot of struggle, a lot of unknowns, but thanks be to Allah and the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I gotta say that out loud. And thanks to the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, as represented to me by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And salute to the Nation of Islam, and salute to the MGT, GCC, and the NOI, family, and all of the family, you know, all of my Hebrew Israelite brothers that I met, have great respect for. My Moore Science Temple brothers. These are titles. These are titles. These are titles. My Christian brothers and sisters. These are titles. I love you not because of the title, but because I know, and I know, because the Creator gave me access, that you my family. You know, culture and refinement. When the Creator hand is on it, gonna give us that. You don't start looking at people and judging them based off of a title. Because when you in sync with the Creator, you start understanding the human experience and what it's gonna take to make it safe, secure. You gotta trust in the Creator for that. Huh. To see, recognize, and apprehend clearly, to distinguish mentally. Distinguish what? Right and wrong. When you right and wrong first, I'm wrong as hell. I know I was wrong. And when you accept that through realization, and accept it, as painful as it may be sometimes for us to stand in that mirror and say, damn, it's my fault. Because we don't want it to be our fault. Because we don't want nobody to reciprocate and then bring back. We don't want the karma effect, law, if you believe in the law of karma. We don't want to reap what we sowed. But you ain't gonna have no choice in the matter. Because the truth, it ain't the person you fighting, is the truth. And you can't win against the truth. I know I can't. And discretion, that's what we need. We need discretion when we go into finances. We need discretion, meaning you learning the system, you learning the tools, even when you go to school. Understand what that is. Don't just go get in a class and say, I'm gonna take up this in college, and then you get out of college and don't even use the degree that you went and got. You went in there 4 years sometimes or longer. to get a degree that you ain't gonna use, that can't benefit your own life or nobody, and then you find yourself in the same spot as the person that don't have no education, still struggling, still lost. So we need to be able to discern. We need to be able to distinguish mentally, recognize and as distinct and difference. What's the difference? And those that elevated and those that's not. Just because it's not elevated don't mean that it ain't on track, but it is a strong indicator because it's not on top that something could be wrong. And just because you at the top, it don't mean that you up there and you got up there by the right reasons, but it don't mean that you did. That's how critical we have to be in our perception, in our mental and spiritual sight of the things that we are involving our mind in that lead us to action. And yes, we must discriminate. I'm gonna discriminate. You put some shit in front of me, excuse my profanity. You put some stuff in front of me, and I've realized, hey, that right there look kind of funny. I'm reading it, I'm looking at it. It's inviting this, but it's excluding that. Why would it do that? There's no equality in that. If it's good for that person and it's maintaining life or giving some power within a scope of a system, how can it be good for this group and not good for that group? Good for that person, but not this person. You see? So yes, I'm gonna discriminate against those things that's designed to be against me, my family, my friends, my community. You damn right I'm gonna discriminate against that. Because you ain't bringing life to the situation. You're bringing death. So last and not but not least on my paper here, we got humble. Now, how this word get in here, I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you this. It's a good word. I love it. Well, I'm gonna say it's a word. I got to do more research on that. Humble. I know some people get offended. I ain't humble, but humble in this context of coaching and refinement, understanding your energy. Point number one, and only one point: modesty, showing a moderate or humble or lowly estimate of one's merits, importance, etc., free from both boastfulness or great pretensions. Meaning to the arrogant. Let me just say this to the arrogant out there. I'm gonna speak to myself because I've been known to be arrogant. I have to admit I was a bit arrogant, delusional. You know what I'm saying, by design, not even knowing that I didn't know. And when you don't know that you don't know, you're a very dangerous person because you're walking around thinking that what you know is the right thing to do until those circumstances and environment produce a condition. Yeah, because that's gonna tell it. But modesty, y'all know I say this a lot. Do it within the confines of modesty. Because when we exceed the limit, meaning you gonna went too far, danger is surely on the other side of that. Modesty, meaning I can go up to a point without collapsing myself, even if I'm doing something that might not be perceived as a right thing. Because only the individual know when they participating in something, what they're experiencing and what they're feeling. If it's good, bad, if it's detrimental, can it lead to them losing their freedom? Only the individual know. That's why coaching refinement is so needed. That's why understanding one's inner G is so important. Having a moderate or humble or lowly estimate of one's merits. People do stuff and be braggadocious. Ah, look what I did. Ah, if I didn't do that, they only got that because of me. And you're not even humble with it. You're not even trying to. And I know some people say, well, I should be able to do that. Well, you can if you want to. I'm just saying how it affects us in negative ways. I don't have to brag about what I'm doing, especially if I'm doing something that's conducive to growth and development. I can take a position. I don't have to get the credit in every instance. I don't have to get the credit because at the end of the day, all the credit, as far as I'm concerned, belongs to the creator, to the most high. By whatever way you understand it and or believe what that is, who that is, or what it could be. Right? Free from both boastfulness and pretension. Yeah. That's what I'm striving for through coaching and refinement. I don't want to boast about it. I want to give the creator the praise and say honestly, I'm thankful for the gifts and the talents. I'm thankful to be able to use them to help now as opposed to hurting. And I'm very aware that I might not do it perfectly all the time, and I still may hurt people unaware, or I may see it and not address it immediately. But I do know where I'm at mentally that I have to come back and I have to set things right, especially with what I know now. Because to whom much is given, much is required. So there we have it. We concluded that aspect of it. I already got into the six sacred vows. I done that one. It was something that I was inspired to write myself, dealing with the proper way to for a man and woman to kind of approach each other. This was what was on my mind while I was in federal prison, and I just want to share these things with you all, so that to those that starting to know me, learning to know me, don't been around me for some while, especially my family and social media, that have come to respect me and give me the type of respect. I mean, some even trying to compare me to some people that I say, I mean, I couldn't even walk a couple of feet in these people's shoes. But to be mentioned in that way, it definitely brings a type of pressure that makes Diamond, because I want to be better. So I can't shun that information, you know what I'm saying? Um, if some people perceive it in that way, I'm not going to allow it to overwhelm me to the point to where I'm trying to be something that people want me to be. I want to try to stay in line with the creator as much as possible and know my limits. Yeah, aim for the stars. They say. I say you can go further. There's no limit. The sky is never the limit. Okay, and there we have it. We did that. The coaching and refinement, man. We did that. And before I get up out of here, because I'm right on time, I got about 4 minutes here, or maybe five minutes left before we reach that hour. Like I said, 45 minutes to an hour is sufficient to do what I need to do here. And I'm going to be doing so much more the next time that I come to these airways right here on the Circle of the Gods .6. I'm gonna be bringing information. I'm gonna pull out my Bible. I'm gonna pull out the Quran. I'm gonna pull out a whole bunch of things that I was feasting on. I'm gonna get back into How to Eat to Live, the Fall of America, and just my own experiences in life. And I'm here to just tell people I'm not against people based on their color. I'm not here against people based on their nationality. I'm not here to discriminate in those ways. I'm not here to put one group over another group, but I'm most certainly not here to take the group that they don't try to place me in and say we ain't nothing, because that's a damn lie. Ain't nowhere in the world I'm gonna continue to let a system tell me my children don't matter, my women don't matter, my brothers, the men don't matter, our neighborhoods don't matter. And I want us to know that, because we're the one that they're most prevalent in these spaces. And if we don't get it right, they're gonna continue to come and abuse and misuse and treat you bad. I don't think no quote unquote group of people want that, even though in all of those groups people suffer. And those amongst those groups that's standing up, I want to stand with you. I want you to stand with me. Let's do it. Let's eradicate this social construct and engineering that has major claws on our brains, keeping us in constant fear. We are the people, and the people consist of every aspect of what this system tried to make and create as a separation in us based off titles. There are some good people in law enforcement, outnumbered, and the ones that do come forward, because everybody ain't sitting back letting it go, but when they do come forward, they catch hell. Oh, you a traitor. Oh, you blowing the whistle because you ain't doing right. They posted did it. They swore on an oath to protect and serve, not just the so-called rich, again, a title of what somebody can do. They gotta protect the littlest of its population, whether that's in poverty-stricken areas, so-called middle class areas, into upper crust, whatever. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm here to do this. And with the help of the creator, I'm gonna do this. And I'm telling you right now, I'm in it with you. Yes, I am. I'm just your brother in the trenches that recognize. I'm your brother in the trenches that has been inspired and intervention took place in my life. And I'm going to share. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing in social media as well. Okay? And with that being said, I love y'all with God's perfect love. 3 things. Keep your head on the swivel because it's dangerous out here. Okay? And protect yourself at all times because you have a right. And last, but most certainly not least, use your mind because if you don't use your mind, somebody else will. These are the facts as best I know them. And I hope that it will resonate with somebody that's out there and it will bring some kind of clarity in your life.
If you want life to be sweet, it'll be sweet.
Yes.
If you want it to be tough, it'll be tough. If you lay down on yourself, you just down on yourself. If you make a fool and a fool let you make them a fool, then you got a fool.
Yeah.
But when you standing in the presence of the truth, there are no cracks.
No cracks.
You can't penetrate the armor.
Never.
I'm not about that fussing. I'm not about that debating. I'm here for love. I'm here to help the people. Let the angels of death do what they do. Come on. Yeah, the messenger. That's right. I'm just the messenger. That's right. Pay attention to the story here. I'm only going to tell it once. Scruffily made. I'm part of the game, but the game defamed me, so I had to maintain. Push back on the other side to let them know when it come to war, I'm ready to ride. But not the war you thinking about. That's man-made. I'm on spiritual, lifted nature. And the laws that govern that, that's what it is. I can't transcend. I gotta stand on that. 10 toes down with 10 fingers. I'm all grounded. Let's get it. I see the cosmos open up for me, a treasure. Because everything that I invest is nothing but love, prosperity, and joy. Don't make me get crazy in this motherfucker. Yeah. Because my kind of crazy would drive you crazy and make you go insane. Because I don't speak on it. I just sit up in the booth and thank God for everything he gave me. Yeah. I mean the love and the behavior. I had to go there. I paid a heavy price, man, to go there. Yeah. I descended into hell, then ascended and ascended, and I'm here. Whoa. Don't get it confused. Like, I don't spend my everyday hating on people. I don't spend my everyday trying to be a follower of anybody but the truth. I recognize the truth in people, but I also recognize that social construct, social engineering still got us in these negative program mentalities, man. What kind of love do you want? The kind of love that hurt or the kind of love that make you feel special, all bubbly inside? Give me the kind that hurt, because that's the kind that major and teach a major lessons. Let's go. Profession, lay it down, take it. I can't take it, I break it up, and I can't work.